but not least, I won't even introduce it. This needs no introduction.
Okay.
We are experiencing the greatest technological and economic shift in human history. We need a way to help millions of Americans transition through this period, and a universal basic income is the best and most efficient way to do that. Hello, I'm Andrew Yang, and I'm running for president as a Democrat in 2020. I believe I have the right vision, priorities, and values to improve the lives of millions of Americans. 7 years ago, I started Venture for America to train hundreds of young entrepreneurs to build businesses in Detroit, Cleveland, Baltimore, and other communities across the country. Together, we helped create thousands of jobs. But during this time, I came to realize that technology has already wiped out 4 million manufacturing jobs in Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and other states. And it's about to do the same thing to people who work in retail, food service and food prep, customer service, transportation, as well as industries like insurance, accounting, medicine, and law. I saw so much over the last number of years traveling this country. What I experienced was an eye-opener to me, where I would walk through abandoned neighborhoods and boarded up businesses. I have 2 young boys, and I'm deeply concerned about the future that they're going to grow up in. If we don't change things dramatically, they're going to grow up in a country with fewer and fewer opportunities, and a handful of companies and individuals reaping the gains from new technologies, while the rest of us struggle to find opportunities and eventually lose our jobs. And it doesn't need to be that way. Under my plan, every American adult will receive $1,000 a month, free and clear, paid for by a new tax on the companies that are benefiting most from automation. If we provide a universal basic income, Americans will be able to go back to school, move for a new opportunity, start their own business, and really have their head up as they plan for the future. With your help, we can make universal basic income a reality. Join us, and let's build a new kind of economy, one that puts people first.
Yeah, so that last shot of Andrew looked more natural than Pete's last shot. But I mean, this is what I'm used to. So this is, kind of what I like doing this is like a startup promo video style shot. So
exactly.
it's a quick and snappy intro, briefly talking about the problem and then his solution. Then he goes into more detail about things. You introduce a little bit of, and I know it was all just him. And I made such a big fuss about other people. What he at least did was introduce some other characters, like the picture of Obama and Damon John, who was like the founder of Rockaware. No, not Fubu. He was the Fubu guy. You know what I mean? And he has limited political experience, so obviously he wouldn't really have much to share, like on that end. But then what I really liked that the other people didn't do was he went back to, so he sets up the problem in the beginning, presents the solution, then resets up the problem, and then goes into the solution, like why he wants to do universal basic income, what will happen if something like this happens. He at least talked about it, and he supplemented all of this with like pertinent B-roll images. So even though it's his voice he's telling, he's also showing a lot of images that relate to it. It's not just like him at a rally talking, you know what I mean? It's like related and specific, some of these things. So that's why I liked this ad.
Yeah, it was informative, and it was also about the character itself, because we can see the
Family
photos of the family photos, and especially his sons or like daughter. I think
he's got 2 boys.
Two sons. Okay, yeah, his sons, and so you can make like some personal like connection with him, but he introduces his plans really well, and at least you can see the outcome of like his plan, because he talks about if it becomes a reality, what will like people get in return.
He sets up the problem, the conflict.
Yeah.
What's coming? Why is it a problem? Why is it an issue? He sets up a solution. Why is it a solution? What can happen with the solution?
Yeah, but I also want to like mention this, that as you said, again, it has a very startup promo video vibe into it.
Yeah, that's his vibe too, though. You know, a lot of
Yes.
people mistake him from being from California, from Silicon Valley. He's really from New York, you know? I'm telling you, that Cavs game he went to, you're going to get a sick, Sarah. Seriously. I should have worn that mask, people.
I don't think I'm gonna get you sick. Sorry.
This is terrible. Well, we hope you enjoyed our last episode, our last podcast
I
episode.
brought the ends.
No, go ahead, yeah, as you were saying.
I don't have anything else to add except that I wanna.
You say it has that startup vibe like it's a
Yes.
bad thing.
Yeah. No, it just. Okay, so from the technical point of view, which is about as production people, we have to learn how to solve like clients or issues like he brought to the table. So
Not necessarily. I have clients coming up to me, hey, I need a promo video. Like, you know, how much is it going to cost? And they have nothing other than that. You know what I mean? So it's your job to present a creative brief, you know? So
Yeah.
if someone from Andrew Yang, while he was in the running, you know, came up and reached out to me, then I would say, oh, okay, well, you know, let me have an interview with him. Let me see what he's about. And I would research him. Okay, so he's really trying to tackle AI. Okay, well, then let's think, you know, techie. You know, so it makes sense that, you know, he has sort of that upbeat, quick intro that fits in line, that motif fits in line. You know, we're going to get images of the drone, you know, delivering, you know. So, I mean, all of this makes sense, but oftentimes clients will just know that they need a video and or an ad or a promo spot, you know, and they'll come to you. Now, other clients might reach out to or be working with a firm, and that marketing firm will have a brief, and then they'll find the production studio, and your job is to just film what the brief is. But a lot of times too, they don't know what they want. They just know they need something. You know what I mean?
yeah, but if you are like a startup and you know that you have a unique product, the first question for you that needed to be answered is just to introduce your product very well.
No.
It's not the case?
Well, in a way, it's introducing it, but the biggest problem if you're selling a product too is to set up what is the issue? What is the problem that this is solving? Why do we need this? It's not just hi, this is my new app, and you download it, and it does this and this and this. It's no, people. Hey, this is a problem. It affects so many people. Guess what? We've got this cool ass solution. You know, that's what you do.
I get you.
know?
Yeah, I guess so. It could be a little bit different from a product. Definitely, it is. But in general, like Andrew Yang's campaign has such a unique, let's say, take on like issues that you should expect that everything that coming from him and his campaign, whether it's ad, whether it's like social media posts, it should be different than other candidates. And he's not a conventional candidate, so it's not like a conventional or common political ad that you can see. And it was by far the most different ad so
I think
far
this was to me, this was like the most well-rounded ad. You know, unlike Bernie's vision, he kind of concentrated on a more narrow problem and talked about his signature platform, which is universal basic income, UBI, the freedom dividend, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Biden streets, we all kind of agree it was like,
Yes.
you know, not that special. Bloomberg's campaign Super Bowl ad was kind of nice because it focused on gun control, but Yang at least talked a little bit about his solution and what it could possibly do. Bloomberg just said, you know, I'm a fighter, I will fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and out of all these ads, I think Yang's was the only one that talked about his like main platform as well as a bit of his background. So it introduced him because he's unknown in the political arena, and he talked about what he wants to do as president.
Wait,
So
I'm
I think
sorry.
it was effective.
Who? Who were you just talking about?
Let's talk about Yang.
Yang.
Oh, okay.
This
Sorry,
past one?
I heard some buzz here, so my brain went here for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and he didn't have much to work with, but I thought he, you know, as far as experience, but I thought he did a good job of at least presenting, you know, addressing it somewhat by, you know,
And
saying
it talked
that
about
he
what he's
built
done.
the that thing in the middle of America, or not middle of America, but he named some city that whatever startup that he did to try and
Yeah.
help people in the Midwest. You know, obviously it was smart because that's definitely where he was concentrating on. You know, the swing states. So obviously worth a mention from